people no longer bound by their non-disclosure agreements, what can you now disclose? The book you're reading might only be a bestseller because the author had enough money to buy thousands and thousands of copies, have them shipped to a warehouse for storage, and eventually destroyed. I was a contractor for NASA. I still fully support the agency, but I was extremely bugged when I learned that each separate NASA center, JPL, Kennedy, Ames, Goddard, hides many of its inventions and breakthroughs from the other centers. So that when HQ is ready to assign a big mission, and a lot of dollars to one center, they have a better chance to compete over the others. Look what we invented. Ames can't do this over there, give us the next moon orbiter. The downside is that there is a ton of reinvention, and duplicated efforts going on. Sometimes years of work go down the drain, when another center does the same thing faster. My perspective was, you all work for NASA. Share knowledge, collaborate. I was frequently ordered to tone down anything revealing, when speaking to other centers. My best friend worked at a roadside attraction near Chattanooga, called Ruby Falls. It's supposedly a waterfall inside a cave. Of course, the trail to the cave is redone with all sorts of rock, brought in from around the world. I think they've owned up to that part. But the waterfall itself is barely a trickle naturally, and then only in the wetter season. They've run a pipe up there to supplement the falls, hidden by cracks and crevices and cemented over, and powered by a pump off to the side, which you can't hear, when the water is splashing down from 100 feet overhead. It's 99% from the city of Chattanooga, or maybe Lookout Mountain Municipal Water Supply. Of course, with such a wet area, old electrical wires going back to the Great Depression, and 300 feet underground, it sputters, or shorts out and stops every now and then. The first rule in the falls room is make everybody leave immediately if the power goes out, not for safety, but because the fable agreed upon will be shown as fake. Not me but my cousin. He was working his first job in marketing, in one of the top marketing firms in the country. My cousin is ridiculously good looking, used to be a model for A&F, not just the local store models, but one of the national models, and he dresses well. He gets to the job and his boss's boss, which is male, starts hitting on him ridiculously. He's invited to lunch, dinner, asked if he wants to go to the boss's weekend home, all the time turning him down. One time in the car, his boss told him how quickly he would advance, if he spent the weekend with him. And my cousin recorded the entire conversation. He nopes the boss and then ghosts him on invites for weeks, until the boss stops asking. Fast forward to 3 months after he's hired, and he's doing his review with HR and his immediate supervisor is there. He starts to hear about how he's not a good fit, not a team player, etc. They let him know they were terminating him. And he grabbed the paperwork they wanted him to sign and put it in his pocket. Then he pulled out his phone, and played his boss's recording. After he was done, he looked at the HR manager and asked if she had anything to say. They both left the room acting shell-shocked, and he stayed there in the room until the HR manager came back an hour later. She put her boss on the conference line, and they started telling him it was illegal to record private conversations, they would file charges, etc. He laughed, and told them he would go to the press, and that he knows, they would love to put him on TV. 3 days later, he is signing a non-disclosure and picking up a check, almost big enough to pay for his 3 years of law school. For anyone wondering, no, the guy who harassed him was not fired, and he has since been promoted again by the company. If you like our video, subscribe to watch more.